Welcome to episode 893 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Burnett, Apartment Hacker. It's my mission to tease out human potential in the multifamily space. So, last episode we talked about a plan ahead team, or what I think I'm going to refer to as PAT, P-A-T. And it it's it I think it will be important for that particular team to think about the stages of the coronavirus, or the stages that have been created or will be created by coronavirus. So obviously there is the stage that we are going through today, that is the virus and the impact that it is having on the world. I think what people potentially don't have a full understanding of yet is the impact we are going to see from an economic standpoint. I think it's easy to go, yes, there'll be an economic impact on the world, and on business, specifically stateside business, and more specifically our multifamily business. What I don't know, even myself, is the the magnitude of that impact, right? So I'm taking the position that that impact is going to hit us like a tsunami. The impact will be in advance of what anybody might imagine. And the impact will be like a large order of magnitude, because this thing is going to play out over a longer bit of time than I think any of us can anticipate. Now, the basis for that remark for me is just reading lots of news, and not necessarily news from the mainstream media, but news from sources that, who knows, everybody says their source is credible. So I'm going to stop short of saying my sources are credible. But I tend to put a lot of stock in the sources, because they are not mainstream media, and they seem closer to the impact, not only from a health standpoint, but from a business standpoint. And so, all that being said, I think the impact is going to be beyond anything that we can particularly imagine. And as such, we need to start thinking about our plan ahead team, in stages, right? So the first stage was the impact from coronavirus. The next is this economic impact that it's going to make on us. And as such, I think we need to start thinking, this plan ahead team that you should put together in your organization needs to think across time frames. And those time frames literally are 2 to 4 to 7 days from now, what is happening, what is playing out. Then I think it's like a 2 to 4 week, and then it's 2 to 4 quarters, or 1 to 2 quarters rather. Then it's 1 to 2 years, and then at some point after 2 years, 1 to 2 years, you'll see the next normal, right? And what will play out over the next 24 months is and will be deeply profound, not only here in the multifamily space, but in your personal life, and the way that our society will participate on a go forward. The environment will become, at least as it relates to human to human connection, I think at the extreme edges, it will become a very touchless society. In business, there'll be a combination of consumers driving that behavior and businesses driving that behavior, all under a premise of fear, right? Of the next thing. And then you'll get this more moderate sort of cut of the population that will go back to some level of what we call normal prior to this moment in time. And then you'll get the other end of that extreme that really hasn't stopped acting and behaving the way that they have been acting and behaving for generations. So you're going to see all of that. But I think at the bleeding edge, and in that more extreme cut of the world, you're going to see really profound impacts in the way that we do business, the way that you act as a human being while you are participating with businesses. So your plan ahead team needs to think in those stages: corona, the economic impact, and then the next normal. and do it in those time frames that I mentioned. Getting a little windy here, long-winded. Take care. We'll talk to you again probably tomorrow or the next day.